Yo ho ho! Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you with my boy, Mr. Patrick Bell. Pat, baby, you here?
I'm here. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well.
Cool. What's new in the Zoom, my man? And for everybody listening, Pat, which it's no problem for him. He's on day 2 of the fast. So some of you hear that and you go, "Oh my God, he must be so hungry and so this." So Pat is a veteran of many fasts and to the tune of only 30 days. So he is doing just fine, but he is on day 2 of a fast. Is that not correct, Patty baby?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I've done 40 before, done 30 maybe
40
7 times. And often I'm like I don't even get hungry. It's kind of strange. I just like, but my mental clarity is just it goes
Incredible.
up. Yeah, so I feel like I'm thinking at a higher level when I do these things, and it's kind of fun. I also like when I'm done. It's like, oh, I lost 20 pounds. I feel good again.
Is that what you'd expect? And like, if you do it, you follow through on 30 days, what would you expect? How much weight would you lose?
30 pounds. Yeah, a pound
30
a day.
pounds. Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Holy cow. How many times have you done 30? You've done 30 days 7 times, you say?
7 or 8. Yeah, I've lost track. So I
Crazy.
usually do about 21 days a year, like in a row. So it just cleanses my body and lets me reset and everything. And I don't know. It's just a lot of reasons
Cool.
as well, but physically it feels really good.
Yeah. There is no doubt. The way it was described to me is your body, it's like a toilet and it needs to be flushed once in a while. So, and everybody listening, like, what the heck are these two guys on about? I will tell you, as a business coach, I would highly, like, both for your clients and for yourselves. 30 days, that's a little beyond my capacity right now. Not that I couldn't do it, but I'm sure, but I'm a 4-day fast guy and I've done that a number of times. Again, 30 days makes me a bit nervous, but anyway, but I will tell you that on day 4, I feel, like I said, mental clarity is just, it's hard to describe. Like the last time I did, I remember thinking it's like a religious experience, like waking up on the 4th day, like I felt so clear and good. Like I felt like $1,000,000. So there you go. So maybe it's something you guys want to think about. Let Pat inspire you. And on that note, speaking of inspiring Pat, what I want you guys to do, again, we need questions here, guys. If you can plunk some in, that would be great. We'll get to it. Either raise your hand or chuck the question straight in. It looks like we got a couple, but we're going to need a couple more. So I'm going to start off. Okay, let's go. Mark, we are coming for you, buddy. Mark, yourself muted. There he is. Mark, you are live.
I'm unmuted. My wife is alarmed. I'm unmuted. All right.
There you go, man. What's happening?
Carl, you're everywhere today. High five on the solve any marketing problem. You're a whirlwind today.
Well, thank you. Much appreciated. I'd be lying to say I wasn't a little nervous before I pressed go, but we got through it, man. We got through it.
Yeah. You did good. All right. So here's my question is, just for my own confidence level, understanding, I'm creating PAS cheat sheets, and I'm using different revenue levels, like 100,000, 250, going there. And my thinking is, and I'm seeking wise counsel here, is just plugging in 5% on each of the impact areas. Now, 3 of them have 5% twice, so that's 10%. See how I did that?
Yep.
And so I guess one is if you were going to do a cheat sheet, would you use 3%, 5%, 10%, whatever? And if you were going to look at those 3 that had the 10%, would you leave it at 10, or would you just kind of make it a flat 5 across those as well? Any guidance, insights, thoughts, perspectives? I'm open.
Yeah.
Pat?
Yep. Can you see my screen, Mark?
I can, yep.
Like for me, I've got anywhere between 3, 4, 5% here. It's got a couple. I got 1/4 actually. So creating something like this would be the most realistic. And I would not double up on the 5s. I think you could, but then on the summary screen you're showing a 10.
Right.
And I would have a and you see here as well, we've got with 12 areas between 3 and 5%, we've got 144% impact on profits. So it's quite huge. I don't think you need any more than that to sell someone. You could do something and another one, you say, look, we've got one that goes between 8 and 10%. These are also quite, not just realistic, they're also downplaying a scenario. And you realize that in any one of these areas, of these 12 areas, we could apply one area and go after it. We'd probably double your profits. So if we just put 3, 4, 5%, like this is something we can easily achieve. It's not going to cause a big disruption, any disruption to your current business operations. We're just tweaking a few things. With a 10% average increase, it might be a little more. I wouldn't go after any more than that.
Yep. Hey, Pat, can I just clarify so everybody understands what, when you say double up, guys, when you go into, let's say, compelling offer, digital marketing or whatever on the left-hand side, in some cases, there's more than one area where you can put an impact. Yeah, here we go. So see, there's 2 different areas there. So if you put 5 and 5, when you go to you're going to end up with 10, pretty straightforward. So that's what they meant there. There we go. Yeah, boom. Yeah, submit. And then you go to result. There we go. Now it's 10. Boom. There we go. Thank you. Yep, perfect. Yeah, so Mark, what do you think? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think I really like the smaller numbers. It makes it much more realistic and attainable, and we're not doing pie in the sky. And invariably, when I'm going through the PAS with folks, they're going to give me a much higher number. And as we say, yeah, you could be right, but let's use this. And so now I know if I do, whatever level a business is at, if I can keep it at 3 to 5%, I'll have an idea in my head of what the outcome's going to be. So I don't have to panic during the call and hope I hit that number.
Panic.
I'll be good.
You never panic. What's that?
Yeah, no, but I sweat sometimes, and my feet keep paddling under the water really fast.
Yeah, good.
Calm on the top. Yeah. All right.
I just want to say also, Mark, 2 things. Hey, Pat, Mark sort of referring to a cheat sheet too. What is it? A 3%? Remind me. 3% improvement in all 12 areas. 121%. Is that right?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Very close to. So Mark is a framework. So if you take 3% and put it in all 12 areas, you're going to end up with roughly 121% increase. So you might want to just, for everybody, and you, Mark, that's like, a bit of a cheat sheet in your own head. So when you're, kind of working out where you're going to end up. Another thing, Pat, I was going to mention, like, as far as a cheat sheet, what we put together in Cancun? And I wonder if there's any value, like that was effectively a cheat sheet, right? You know what I'm talking about, Pat?
Yeah, the little booklet.
Yeah. And I wonder at one, well, and without going down a rabbit hole here, but maybe we should think about how we're going to, we could package that up and give it to the coaches as exactly that, like a cheat sheet before they go in. Because that's kind of what Mark, did you see how that would be super valuable for what Mark's asking for, Pat?
Well, the thing is, that booklet, it just has the questions. It just has these questions in a paper format. And there's no place to actually put your numbers. I mean, you can put your numbers in, but there's no calculation, of course. So I think what's going to be a lot more valuable is the 100K training we're working on. I've been doing some audio and some stuff with that this morning. So
okay, good point.
Adrian's just done some updates again and working on that this week. We really want to make it excellent for you guys. So we're taking a little extra time with it, but I think before you go in the meeting, you think hey, what are the 3 or 4 areas I could most likely find an impact with this company? And then you go and review the 100K training. The videos will be maybe 6 or 8 minutes at most for each section. So you might spend 30 minutes reviewing the examples and how you ask the questions. Then you go in with a lot more confidence, and you'll have those examples, right on your fingertips there. So I think that would be more useful.
Yeah. Look, good point. Okay. Beautiful. Great question, Mark. We're going to put you back on mute. Randy, you got to unmute yourself. Randy, we're coming for you. There he is. Randy, you are live. Yo, Randy, you there, buddy? We can't hear you, Randy. Let me have a look here. Okay, Randy is asking. Oh, was that you, Pat, or him?
No, I see his microphone.
That's okay. Yeah, he's unmuted, but maybe on his end. So, Randy, we can't hear you lots of you're speaking, but he's plunked his question in here, and it said it'd be awesome to have several templated examples of completed PASs. Okay. And I just wonder, Pat, what is your opinion on that? Do you understand what he's asking for? Any thoughts? Oh,
yeah,
hang on a sec.
I understand that it'd be nice to have those just done for you, but literally you can go through and do it yourself and
practice.
Practice it. It's just like it's the practice you need. And I mean, you should be practicing this 5, 10, 20 times anyway before you're going out to a client. So, I mean, to go through and ask the questions or just build out some answers in there, it'll take you 10 minutes per assessment. It's not a lot of time.
Yeah. I think, Randy, are you live now?
I am.
There he is. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, so I'm the new guy, and I was just kind of going through this, and I'm kind of building out my different verticals or niches that I might be, chasing after and such. And I'm like, it'd be nice to kind of see what something like this could theoretically or actually look like when it's completed. Now, I know some of it is just kind of moving some things around, and ultimately, I think no matter what, we'll always get them to a point where they're definitely making $10,000 more or $100,000 more without even trying, it sounds like. But I'm just having kind of a couple of examples of what they might look like.
Yep, I got you. Okay, so did you hear Pat's? I think you might have disappeared, but Pat was just saying like, we could create some templates, right? But for you to, I think it's because again, you just hear Pat, he talks about it all the time. Every call, he says it, once, if not 5 times, but it's go in and practice with your property acceleration software. So I feel like rather than create the templates to send you in to go build your templates, we're effectively doing what we need to do, and that's to get you trained on it. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that? You follow?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess so. I guess to the extent to which I'm thinking in my mind, like, so I kind of did this for my own sort of real estate business, which is a little bit easier because I'm somewhat more familiar with it, of course. But I'm thinking, what kind of answers, say, would the typical chiropractor give to some of these questions? Or so it's sort of basically being set up as a role play for myself, so to speak.
Yep. Look, I can answer that for you, Randy, though I hate to make, oversimplify all this, but I can tell you they're going to spit out answers like 10 will be low, 25 will happen, and 50 will come out of their mouth through the process.
Yeah.
You will constantly be going to them and say, look, I agree. And what's really powerful, hey, Scott, Pat, can you scroll down for me here? So, and you see that what is really handy here, Randy, you see the way there's 20,000 and then 2, right? So like, again, the representative number, because they probably don't think in percentages, which by the way would be one of the smartest things you could teach them. But their numbers, their mind thinks in whole numbers. That's again part of the magic of the software. Let me just give you an example. So like if you've got profit margins of 20% and you made $100,000 last year, Pat and I come in, we do our magic, and then we increase your margins from 20 to 30%. On the surface, what is that? It's a 10% improvement. You made how much? $100,000. What's that? It's $10,000, right? But do you realize like that's not what happened, right? Do you follow my example?
Yep.
20 to 30 is 50, right?
Yeah.
So that's 50 grand, but the average mind goes to 10, or like, let's say we're driving traffic to a landing page, right? Again, Pat and I come in, we do some magic. We increase your margins from 2 to 3%. On the surface, it's like, 1%. This doesn't, what's the point? But it's a 50% improvement, right? So it's actually like a hack. Like one of the most powerful things you could do in accounting, or second most powerful thing you can do with a profit loss statement, like an income statement, is what's called common sizing, which just basically, it's a flashy way of saying what you do is you take your numbers and you turn them into percentages. But it's a really good way to train the brain. So anyways, long-winded way of saying, see the 20,000 and then the 2, speak to them and hold, like, do you think that'll make again, your unit of sale is 10. Do you think we'll make an extra 5 sales? Like, could you see 5 more sales? And they're like, yeah, okay, perfect. That's going to be 50 grand. I agree with that. You put 5 there. So that's another little hack. Like, as you're going through, understanding that there's the percentage, but then the corresponding dollar value, and looking at both and using that, because it'll matter to his head, to his mind as you're walking him through it. So
sure.
Anyways, so that's the answer to that one, is they're going to spit out 10 to 50%, and you're going to have to water them down and bring them back to, 2.5, 3, 5, etc.
Sure. Got it.
Cool. So I hope that helps. But you know what? Keep us posted, man. Go do it with a few folks, and then let us know how the process unfolds for you. We'd love to hear some feedback.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question, because I'm currently doing a cold email campaign, and I'm kind of following. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy by the name Aaron Ross. He wrote a book called Predictable Revenue. For most of my career, it was completely irrelevant because I was always B2C, but B2B, which this book is written toward. He talked about doing cold email, and I've seen some training. Again, I'm doing module 2 training or orientation tonight, so again, that I'm that new, but so I've sent out a bunch of emails to some chiropractors, and the question is, who is more or less who is responsible for marketing, in your business or whatever the case is. And I've gotten some responses back. Yeah, that's me. How can I help you? Or that kind of a thing. Now, I'm like, I told my wife, I'm just going to hit send on this thing, and if I get some responses, I'll figure out what to say next. But since I have people on the phone, King Carl, as it is, how do I transition? What's the next best transition to get me getting this conversation with these people?
Okay, that's your question. Well, first of all, if you wanted to, ironically, you're going to find coaches go to chiropractors and dentists with so much, it's incredible. Okay, so first thing I would do is I would think long and hard as to whether or not I would go to chiropractors, just because everyone else is going to them. But like realtors, you've seen that one, right? You've experienced that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so go to something a little more innocuous. But anyway, so the next step is this next step is a 15-minute phone call. That's the bottom line, right? Whatever it takes to get them on the phone. Like, as an example, you send out that, and then they give you a reply. And let's say that they ask a question or make a statement. What I would say is, look, I just want to make sure that I understand what you said or what you asked. I'm pretty busy for the next couple of weeks, but I'll tell you what, I'll carve out 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes. You don't really expect to get sold something in 15 minutes, right? So let's jump on the phone for 15 minutes, right? Like, we do this like, we say 15 minutes and we send a 30-minute calendar link. So we actually get on the calendar for 30, but we sell it as 15. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Got it.
So that's it. So the answer is whatever it takes to get on the phone for 15 minutes. And then the 15-minute turns into the 100K meeting.
Yeah, got it. And then the other question that I have related to this, and I don't want to monopolize this whole thing, is
you're good. Keep going. Doing great.
Yeah, so now I get them on the phone and we're going through the process of reviewing, the Profit Acceleration software. Am I sharing my screen as I'm going through the questions with them, or am I just asking the questions, just sort of off a script as I fill this in real time?
Yeah, great question. Pat, could you go to the summary page, please?
Yeah.
So Randy, the answer is you want to be able to go back and forth a little bit. Okay. But this is kind of where you're going to spend most of your time. And then what you do is you refresh it. Like, the numbers are going to continue to grow, right? So you want to take it off, pause, and then pause again. So you kind of got to get it get good at flicking back and forth, but we would not encourage you to go, say you're going to go through joint ventures, to click that and then let them see the questions that are coming. Just because it takes a little bit of the magic away from you that, you know, you've got the next really good question. So, so that's the answer.
Okay.
Like I said,
good.
You're just using screen share, you're just pausing and then unpausing and pausing and then unpausing. So
got it.
That's the answer.
Cool,
man.
Yeah.
Right, Randy, here we go. Pat pulling this up.
Yeah, Randy, have a look at this this page here where you can go and look at all the Q&A discussion recordings, and we've indexed most of these as well, but you can go back through all these questions here. Now, that question's been asked a few times and we've probably gone through it in quite a bit of detail. So most of them have a timestamp, and you can just go and find out, just go and figure out where that question was asked, and you can go through it again if you want a little more clarity on that.
Perfect.
That help, Randy?
It does.
Okay, great. We're going to put you back on mute. All right, John, we are coming for you. John's got a question. You are muted, John. You got to unmute yourself, boss. The other week. Oh, John, you were live.
Hello, Carl and Patrick. How you guys doing?
Hello.
So Carl, I noticed earlier today, in fact, about an hour and a half ago, when you were doing the presentation, and I've heard, and you were also previously, you talked about this digital pass. And I'm just curious as to what the differences are between digital pass and the pass that we're using right now.
Okay. Could you hit it for me, please, Pat? The answer is, going to let the cat out of the bag, but on Wednesday, you can all get excited because it's digital acceleration is coming, so it's going to be called DOS instead of HAS. But anyways, digital acceleration is coming for you. So look on the left-hand side if you could, John. Content marketing, website optimization, email marketing, search, advertising, social media, etc. So just all your digital marketing areas. And then we also have digital Breakthrough 40. So we've got the Jumpstart and the Breakthrough 40. So this is just a significantly more in-depth run through. So that is digital acceleration is totally separate to profit acceleration. And just so then you're like, well, what's the reason behind it, or what's the idea? Genesis of it is just that, you know, business owners are completely besotted with digital marketing and Facebook ads and lead generation and more clients. So just having the ability and having this as a, you know, something in your back pocket, I think it's going to get you some appointments. We're positive it's going to get you some appointments. We're positive it's going to get you, you know, some of that sexy, delusional kind of, wow, this is the guy that I want, right? And not to mention, very importantly, it's not smokescreen. Look, when you walk somebody through, if you wanted to make digital marketing work, look, these, you know, the time that we've spent to come up with this, I mean, these are the exact areas that, you know, you and us would want to go. So that's the answer.
Oh, okay. So this will be, so is it going to be basically it's two different pieces of software. And so there's going to be two different types of logins for coaching.
No, that's it. No, Pat, could you hit the home screen, please?
Yeah. So
watch this. Yeah, go show us, Pat.
When you create a new module set, it'll be one of the module sets available to you here.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens here? We'll have two. We have the digital Jumpstart. So we're going to really get this tomorrow, but on the left side here, we've got 8 different areas of digital marketing. And then on the right, we've got 7 areas that we currently have. We've kind of renamed some of them, like upsell, cross-sell is now one-time offers and cross-sell. It's kind of more digital marketing language. And the idea for this was, you know, as we, maybe for a coach who's more digital marketing focused, we still want them to look at these areas that are really important about prices and market dominating position, things like that. So it just gives it a more digital marketing focus as an assessment. And then as we go into the Breakthrough 40, we call it the Breakthrough 40, but it's actually just 15 areas still. It's the same 15 areas here. There's not really 40, but we just wanted to provide a little continuity there in the naming. And that's the same process where you go in, there's very complex like patterns of questions and things like that. So there actually are all these weighted algorithmic sequences. We're living true to that promise there. But yeah, we have a jump start and 15 areas, the breakthrough, the same 15 areas, but in a deeper dive. And we've got a lot of little other things in there that I don't think we want to go through it today, but we're going to definitely unveil this on the Ask the Expert call. You guys get a sneak preview, but join us on the Ask the Expert call tomorrow at 4, and we're going to go through this together.
Okay. All right. So,
Awesome.
sorry, didn't mean to cause,
No, you're good. No, that's good. No, we're planting the seeds. So no, you're all good. You're all good. But it's happening Wednesday. That's the release.
Awesome. And will we be able to download like a summary report of data? Sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's going to be ridiculously similar to what you're going through with Profit Jumpstart and then the Breakthrough 40. So yeah, we're trying to keep everything as consistent as possible. But there are, again, just think of that, how many business owners are sitting out there and the conversation in their head is, how the heck do I make Facebook advertising work?
Right.
Well, the problem is the reason they want Facebook advertising is because their current business is not operating properly, and the chances of Facebook advertising being a solution are little to none, right? So if we don't show up and provide them that magic, they get not taken by, but the digital marketer shows up, and it's not that he's unethical or she's unethical, it's just they don't know any better. So they think that Facebook ads, oh, you got a cash flow problem. Look, I'll drive some traffic and we'll really be able to get that going. Well, if they got a cash flow problem, when you arrive, the chances of Facebook advertising solving their cash flow problem is, they're remote. So this is where we got to be a full stack consultant and really understand, the leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, profits, like the proper way to go in and consult for a business. Let's go and create some margin and create a profitable business before we go and drive a bunch of traffic on Facebook and frankly lose a bunch of money. Kind of follow the thought process there, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. There you go. Anything else for us?
Thank you.
And John, we've got some good news for you. Remember whenever that was, 2 weeks ago or whatever, when you gave us a bit of John magic. That actually, Pat, where was that at? It was a little bit difficult to download, but when do you think we'll be staring at what we talked about?
Are you talking about the report or the?
No, remember what John came up with, where you're going to have like a running tally over the course of X amount of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm hoping tomorrow it should be ready. Hopefully tomorrow, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. Okay. So John, you're going to be coming by next week. I'd be surprised if we're not able to demonstrate it and show you thanks to your idea, John. So there you go, man. High five.
Just trying to help where I can.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. Going to put you back on mute. Good job. Okay, we got Troy's got a question. Where's Troy? Troy, we're coming for you. There he is. He's sudden unmuted. Troy, you're live. Yo, Troy, can you hear us?
Oh, hey. Yeah.
There you are, Troy. You're live, bud. What's happening?
Hey, good. Hey, no, my question was, so I'm just new to just going through my coaching training with you guys, which has been pretty good so far. Hey, experienced business owners in the SME space won't have any ideas for a majority of these questions when you're working through your questionnaire, will they?
What do you mean? Just generally speaking, they're not going to have they're not going to know what the answers are?
Yeah.
Oh no, look. I mean, the questions are pretty darn straightforward. So no, it's not that they're not going to have a clue. In many cases, you're going to have to kind of expand upon them, right? And kind of explain, like, you're going to say joint venture. They're going to say, what's that? You say, well, look, have you ever gone to the gas station, in your world, the petrol station, right? And then they're selling donuts inside, or, whatever, you walk into Walmart and there's McDonald's. whatever example, you walk into the gym and there's a tanning salon or there's a personal trainer that they palm you off. Well, that's a joint venture. Like, oh, okay, cool. So which joint venture relationships do you have going? And they go, none. You go, okay, I didn't think so. Next. So a little bit of that, but no, I think they're going to have a clue. And then the one thing, I think you would have heard it earlier, is that what they won't have a clue on is that they'll give you numbers and they're going to say, oh, wow, that's an unbelievable idea. If I formed a joint venture with that, I'm a personal trainer. If I could go hire like a room at the local gym, I could really crush that. Geez, that'll increase my business by, 30%. And then and then you water it down towards 5 to make sure the numbers don't swell up too high.
Yeah, right. So just, this might be a side question. With the joint ventures, what are you using to manage the outcomes of those joint ventures?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, say your gym example, which was what a personal trainer gets a room and a gym to do personal training. Yep. So as the gym owner, I'm gonna get a referral for every personal training that I refer across.
Yep. Or you just rent out the room. The way the hair salon, they got a nail technician, and I just rent a room and pay them. I just pay them $1,500 a month, and if you're good, you make a fortune, and if you're bad, you owe me $1,500.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's not that's a little bit different than the traditional. But so the answer, you frame it up in a multitude of different ways. But like a joint venture, strictly, it's like you're a business coach. You go to an accountant or the magazine or the newspaper, and then they refer people to you. You charge $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, and you hand over a $2,000 finder's fee, or you pay them 20% every month over month, right? Like you could do it. There's a multitude of different ways you do it. I mean, you go to an accountant. If you heard this morning, I did a call, but we talked about this where, like, I'll go to an accountant and I don't give him anything. He doesn't give me anything. I don't give him anything. And what I mean financially, but he sends clients to me. I charge him and I get paid and I keep my money. But part of the solution that I provide is that accountant's challenge is that the business owners come once a month or once a year, 3 months after the year is over, and it's rush. And we refer to it as tax season, right? And it's brutal for the accountant. Yeah. So what I do to the accountant is I say, look, just don't send me everybody. Don't send me your best. Don't send me your worst. Take me for a test drive. Send me 3 people. Well, the 3 people that I work with go in 4 to 12 times a year. Well, the accountant is making, if he's charging $2,500 for his one-time annual clients, he's now got a $10,000 client instead of a $2,500 client. He keeps his money, I keep mine, and we're all good. Make sense?
Yeah.
And the accountant will love that, by the way. That's you might hear that and go, oh, is the accountant really going to go for it? Believe me, you put that in front of the accountant and you will have their attention. You will get my clients to come in to see me 4 to 12 times a year during the year. I'll take you up on that for sure, because it's solving a problem as opposed to coming to them with an idea. It's a very different approach.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Answer your question. You all good?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, Troy, good job. Appreciate the question, by the way. Una has got a question. Una, we are coming for you. Start to raise your hand. You're self-muted. Got to unmute yourself, Una, if you want to chat. Dun, 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 dun. You gotta do your trumpet, Pat. That's so good. I can't believe it. Okay, Una, you don't. You're not unmuting. All good. Pat even gave you his best trumpet. Una says she's trying to unmute. It's not letting you. That's okay. She is asking if there will be training videos for digital acceleration, and the answer is absolutely. So yeah, it's same process, Una. Yeah, we'll have training videos and training, and no doubt on these calls, you're going to find that, there'll be a portion of these calls that will be dedicated to to digital acceleration. So no sweat.
Yeah. And just as a note there about the digital acceleration software, and we'll go into it more tomorrow, but the whole process runs almost identical to the current software. And what we're going to be telling people is, if you're familiar with digital marketing and internet marketing, digital marketing, you're comfortable in that space, or you have a very good joint venture partner you can refer people to, that's when you're going to use it. If you're a newbie to digital marketing, you should not be using it, because you will just get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think you can judge if you're that kind of person. Like for me, I've been deeply involved in digital marketing in the past and then stepped away for a few years. And I look at it now and it's so overwhelming to me. I'm like, I'm not sure I would tackle it myself. But if I had a good partner that I could do an assessment alongside with, or I had someone I could refer the clients to that I already knew I could trust them and they would do a good job, then that's a different situation. I might take that on. But I'd still be very hesitant, and I'd want to make sure that I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth or get asked a question that I can't understand. So, we'll do a little training.
Yeah, you don't want to set yourself up. Yeah, you don't want to set yourself up for a fall, right? Like you go in doing, screaming digital acceleration, then the deliverable is, the expectation is digital acceleration, right? So, but that being said, also, Pat, I would just bring people to the attention. So if you're thinking, okay, well, but it's such like what I just said earlier, it's such a hot topic that I want to be able to, to talk on it. I just don't want it. I think it makes sense for it not to be my entire, my entire presentation, but I wouldn't want to just not go over it. Well, have a look at the left of your screen. You will see digital, their digital marketing is in the Profit Jumpstart, right? So just go to the digital marketing and use, the section that we've got there. And it will go in depth enough to, make you sound dangerous, get them excited. This is going to be part of the product mix. And, so that's going to be good enough. And again, you add, your 5 to 10% improvement and then keep moving. So, but I agree with Pat. If you're not familiar with digital marketing, I don't think that you do an entire assessment around digital marketing. I think that might be setting you up for a little bit of a fall. Okay, we need some more questions here, folks. So we'll be closing shop early. My buddy Christine has got a question. You were self-muted, Christine. Please unmute yourself. If you want to say hello, Christine, you are live.
Hello, and thank you. You know what? I don't really have a question until you just mentioned the digital marketing and the Profit Accelerator. Now that might be what I've been looking for when I've been talking to coaches and I've been going through the presentation with them, and they've been saying, oh, you know what, this is all for, brick and mortar stores. It's not meant for us digital marketers. And by digital marketers, I don't mean agencies. I mean coaches they think they're online, so they're looking for Facebook ads and, podcasts and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So maybe.
Yeah, I got you. So, I just, Christine, you got to take control of that one, because they're to look at this and say that it's only for brick and mortar businesses. And I talked about that. That's absolutely not the case. So don't, just take that away from them, because that's 100% incorrect. So, don't worry about that. But you'd be right. Digital marketing will give you that. Maybe what you're looking for, maybe start. So maybe what you do is start in digital marketing, and then that question or that thought process would never come up. So that's the least of your worries. Yeah, you're all good. Okay, cool. That answer your question?
I'll take a look at that and see if I can sort of revise the presentation. But that's the big thing that I've run into is that they're just saying, I can see their eyes glaze over, and they say things like, oh, I can see where you're going with this, and that's not, So I'm going, whoa, this is really weird. But anyways, okay, I get it though. Thanks.
Yeah, no, but again, you just look at the 12 areas. Again, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, every type of business, service, or brick and mortar, they all need the same thing. So don't worry about that.
But the principles are all the same, whether But it's because they think they're online, but they're not really. They don't think of themselves as a business. That's why.
Yeah. Pat, and by the way, did I answer the way you would? Would you add anything, subtract anything?
Nope, all good.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put you back on mute, Christine. Appreciate your question. Okay, we're coming towards the end here. I'm going to open up my buddy Tom O'Connor. Tom, we are coming for you, buddy. You were self-muted, Tom. There he is. Tom, you are live, you crazy Irish son of a gun.
What's up, Carl? How are you, my friend?
Doing fabulous. What's happening, man?
Just following this along, trying to learn the system and put it in play with some coaches, some wealth coaches.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Interviewed your buddy Caleb yesterday, by the way. Tom introduced me to a young man changing the game of wealth, and yeah, it was a pretty good interview, man. He's a talented guy.
Yep, sure is. Young. I mean, it's amazing how young he is too. Looks like he's about 50. Yeah, that's good stuff. But that's the idea is my idea is that to help him hire some coaches and kind of double-edged sword. You know, when they come in, you know, we have business owners and entrepreneurs that come in and run them through this software, and then help them place their money as well on the back end. So
I love it. Good stuff. Everything else going good? Any questions for us? Any thoughts?
Nope.
Any comments?
Just loving it. Just loving it. I appreciate you doing that interview, man.
No problems. Okay, buddy. Cool. I'm going to put you back on mute. Always good to have Tom here. He was in Cancun, by the way. Business Coaching Mastery, guys. It's going to be coming here shortly because of the pandemic. Obviously, we have some challenges, but that'll be coming. But when we do it, we're doing a digital or a virtual event, which will get announced to you guys soon, and then we'll be doing the event in Cancun. So make sure you keep your ear to the ground for that. But anyways, let's move right along. Hang on, Randy's got another question, and so does Linda. Right, Linda, I'm coming for you. Linda, you're self-muted. Unmute yourself, please. Dun, dun, dun. Pat, gonna give us your trumpet?
I can't when I'm laughing.
There we go. Okay, Linda, we can't. I'm new to this, just getting started. What is the best way for me to get started with learning how to use profit acceleration software? Okay, we can answer that one. In fact, I could throw it to Pat, but I know exactly what he's going to say. So I want you to imagine that he's my I'm a ventriloquist. Okay, Pat speaking. Okay, Linda, here's what he's going to say. Get your butt over to the software. Just go through and create some assessments in the different areas. Go through, Startup Profit Jumpstart, what we just showed you. Rip through that, create a few, just pretend like you're a chiropractor, pretend like you're the massage therapist, pretend like you're the restaurant, pretend like you're the, again, butcher, baker, candlestick maker. And then get yourself, actually, Pat, you're showing her this. Let me throw it over to you, boss. What would you say?
Yeah. Well, here on the screen, you can see this URL, noresults-nofee.com/software. And we have first-time users training path. So the key to this is to have this on one tab, have the software on the other, and just play the video. You can see they're short, like they're just short, they're practical. Play the video and then go and do it. And then play the next video and go and do it. And you can just work your way through these. I think they're quite self-explanatory, and there's someone here editing the software report. It's a bigger one. There's mostly are short there, and then power of compounding impacts. It's kind of a little bit more understanding about why the numbers work the way they work in the software. But if you go through this and you just practice with it, and once you've done this, then go and practice with it with a friend that has a business that loves you a lot and doesn't mind you making mistakes, and that's how I would do it. And I do a lot of practice.
Yeah. Exactly. And then again, when you're doing the practice, when like another example, in fact, I said this earlier when we did a call, so if you introduce me to a business coach that doesn't have enough leads, I'll introduce you to a business coach that's struggling with confidence, right? So some really good homework, similar to what Pat just said, but might be just a different approach to it. You should, possibly you do, both, But I would grab a pen and piece of paper and I said restaurants a minute ago, so I'm on it. Write down 50 ways that you would help a restaurant. And I'm not talking about strategic high level stuff, but just tactical, put money in bank accounts ways. And by the way, go through, what areas? Go through the 12 areas of the profit jumpstart. And basically think of just different ways and tactical steps you'd implement with the restaurant to really put some money in their bank account. Do a little bit of homework and search around Google. Ironically, I actually created a case study for restaurants on one of my daily emails when I first got started with it. So if you just Google my name restaurant case study, I'd be amazed if it wouldn't be the first thing that came up. It would definitely be in the top few. Just Carl Bryan restaurant case study. And you'll see an example of what I'm talking about. And I don't remember, but there's like 50 different ways that I came up with that have either helped restaurants or I would implement, in 2020. Anyway, so check that out and go through it. But what I'm getting at here, Linda, just go through with the game plan of you want to go through the software with the vision that you're actually going, to really help them. You know what I mean? Really put yourself in the chiropractor or the restaurant shoes. And there it is. There you go. Boom. So I would do that. So go through the software, run through that process, pen and paper, and come up with 50 ways that you would help and then just fill in the industry. But, restaurants, just have a look at what I did there. And then, boom. I think you'll be laughing, and just go through the process though. Go through and create these assessments, because after you've gone through it, you're really going to have a good understanding as to how to help everybody. So there we go. And Randy's got another question. Where are you, Randy? Coming for you, Randy. Unmute yourself in a second when I get there. There he is. There he is. You're live.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks. Thanks again. I was just wondering about this the software, or I forgot the new software that you're coming up with.
Digital acceleration. Yep.
Yes. Sorry. I'm in the car with my teenage son who's driving, so I'm kind of nervous all at the same time.
Put your seatbelt on.
He's shaking his head. He's like, "You're a jerk, Dad." But in any case, so I guess I'm just curious. Does it make sense to perhaps use that bit of software as a lead magnet to get, quote unquote, your free digital assessment? And then I imagine the ultimate goal is to steer them to the profit acceleration software ultimately, because that's where the true money's going to be made for them.
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I think what you're saying, digital acceleration has that sexy, delusional kind of feel to it. Everybody's thinking right. Facebook. Yeah. So yes, it gets you in the door. But then speak to digital marketers and then ask them why do they lose all their clients in 60 days? It's because Facebook advertising, when you really think about it, the metaphor I love to use is if you had a hole in the boat, doing Facebook advertising would be like going further into the lake to sort out the hole in your boat. You know what I mean? Not the greatest idea you've ever come up with. So so the answer is absolutely use digital acceleration and that sexy delusional feel that Facebook advertising and Google advertising and driving traffic on the internet and social media magic has. But then when you get with the business owner, it's you don't have an upsell, you don't have a downsell, you don't have a cross sell, you don't even have an upfront offer. Well, look, whoa, right? The last thing you want to do is turn on Facebook ads because you don't have the absolute basics in place. And what about their profit margins, right? Again, let's look at that, right? Go to their, you see, we don't have the software up, but if you go to cutting costs, right? Just go straight there. You want to, let's say you're $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. The first thing you want to do is put $24,000 in their bank account. Well, look at it this way. You've got, if your client's got 25% margins, just sake of the argument, you drive traffic, you make them $1, they keep 25 cents, right? Well, when you go to their expenses, when you go to their credit card statements and you save them $1, they keep 100 cents. So there's a 75-cent gap there. Where's the smarter place to go when your number one goal is to pay your way? Right? The answer is absolute. So anyway, so the answer is high five. Like, I love the way you're thinking, and I totally agree. That's the way I'd take
Just,
part of what I do.
I'm sure everybody on the call knows this, but in case they don't, when you go to a Facebook business page, on the left-hand side, or I think it's usually on the left-hand side, you can see something that Facebook has since added since the 2016 presidential elections here in the U.S. But you can see something called page transparency, and then from there, you can see if that particular business is running any Facebook ads. So that might be a good way to sift and sort who to pitch this to.
Again, why? Because somebody who's selling somebody who's spending money on advertising is trying to grow their business, right?
Right.
That's good.
So that's a star. That's like a great place, Randy, to find coaching clients. Like you just go to the local news, you go anywhere they're advertising, online directory, the local newspaper, the magazine, even those that are, joining the chamber, and then who's spending a little bit more, right, to get like moved up to the top of the search and that sort of stuff on the website. Like who's spending money on things like sponsorship and advertising? These are people that have written, even when a truck drives by you, look at the side of the truck, and then you can tell how serious these guys take their marketing. Is it look cool? Does it have a good sign, or is it just like a magnetic thing that they take on and off, and it says service, quality, and dependability? And that doesn't mean that you don't call and you can't get this guy as a coaching client, because he might be just because he has no stinking idea and he's waiting for somebody to call him and help him, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But that being said, it gives you a really good understanding. But as far as a barometer as to whether or not somebody's going to buy coaching, somebody who's spending a decent amount of money on advertising consistently is a home run to buy your coaching at $2,000 a month. Yeah. So your instincts are correct. And actually, Randy, if I may, and for everybody listening, so let's say we're going to take Randy's approach, but I want you to take into account what Pat said earlier, like, whoa, you're not a digital marketer. So you could use digital acceleration to get in the door. Instead of using the jump start, the digital jump start, you could still use, like, where do you get started? Get started on profit acceleration software. And the first section you start with is digital marketing, right? And then make that the first of the areas you go through. You get the digital stuff out of the way, and then you get to the basics of their business. So that's, again, a way that you could use digital marketing and the sexiness of it, but use the follow through on the profit jumpstart. So there we go. What do you think, Randy? Does that help, bud?
Totally does. That's just another leverage point to get in the door. So I'm really looking forward to it. Awesome.
Actually, I read on Facebook somewhere too that you went through the podcast. What did you do with the podcast? Did you start at the beginning, or what did you do?
Yeah. So I started a podcast number 1 and just binge listened to all. At that point, I think it was 65, but I ran through all 65 podcasts in about 2 weeks at 1.5 times speed. So it's a great master class. It was a great master class, and then now I'm planning on doing it what we call down the river. So I'm going to go from whatever you're on now, 70 to 69 to 68. So this would be completely brainwashed, if you will.
You must be sick of my voice by now.
Well, again, it's 1.5 times speed. So as far as I'm concerned, you normally sound like a chipmunk. So this is pretty normal. This sounds good. It's totally different.
Pat tells me I sound like a chipmunk anyway. So there you go.
Well,
so you got the same opinion. All right, cool. Okay, Randy, that's cool. I appreciate that, by the way. And cool, man. We're going to put you back on mute.
So,
all
Carl,
right. Oh, yes, buddy.
Quick story for Randy. You got to be careful in the car. My friend was teaching his son how to drive. Driving on the freeway in Seattle, and he notices the car is starting to drift into the other lane. He looks over at his son, and his son's fallen asleep at the wheel.
No.
Yes.
Oh. Jesus, oh my God. Okay. Is the son? Give me the keys back. You're not driving again. And you're most definitely not driving your little sister. Oh, that's classic.
Wow.
Anyways, so it ended well. It's got a happy ending though. That's important.
He's still alive. Yep. Yep.
That's brutal. Christine's asking if restaurants are a good industry, and the answer is absolutely. And Christine, just Google what we pulled up there for you. But just the restaurant case study that I created in the daily emails, and you'll see. And that's the same framework, like similar to that. I would do that again. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, whoever I was going to call the next day, because what will happen is the next day you're not going to be able to contain yourself. You'll be so excited. To speak to restaurant owners or whatever the category of business is that you come up with, you'll be blown away, because ultimately that's our job. You just go in there and make them some money. And before you can do that, you got to play some Jedi mind tricks, by the way, to be clear, because they got a bunch of stuff that they got to get rid of the stuff. But that's all part of coaching, and it's a lot of fun. So there we go. All right, buddy. Well, look, it looks like there's no more questions here, at least none that I can see. I hope I didn't miss anybody, and I apologize if I did. There you go. Pat, any parting words here before we let our fine folks go?
Well, if you want to know more about the digital acceleration software, just join us on the Ask the Expert call tomorrow, and we're going to go through that in a little bit more detail. So hope to see you then.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. I super appreciate you showing up with lots of good questions. So we will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks so much, folks.